Hi everyone, it's Kristina from Kristina's Art Corner. Today I have some coloring updates to share with you, some haul items, some things that I have been up to here recently, so I thought I would share that. So let's go ahead and do the haul items first. I think that would be a good idea, and then we'll get into the rest. Okay, let's start out with Rita Berman's new Hidden Seasons compilation. This is the one that I was most looking forward to, so this is the only one I got of her re-released books. And I like the larger size on these pages. It's really nice to have them, you know, blown up. Some, it just makes it a little easier to color. And it's fantastic that it's seasonal, because you can flip right to your season and color out of there. These are so sweet. I love this flower page. You all know that when I started my journey, I was not very into flowers. The joke's on me because I color quite a few pages now with flowers. Oh, gosh. Nice paper. I think it's the same as the others. It is nice. I love this double page spread. That's a good one. This is also fun with all of the items. Oh, I like this one too. And this is another favorite of mine. So you get the idea. Love the shoes. I very much like the double page spreads in here. They're probably my favorite pages. This one as well. Yes, it's holding true throughout the book. Not that the single pages aren't cute, but I love the double page spreads. And there's plenty of them in here, and they're a good size. And there's the paper test, so that'll be great to be able to test some mediums out. So that is Hidden Seasons by Rita Berman. And then I have these three. Now, I placed an order from Amazon France. And as you know, you never just want to get one book, especially in the US, to pay for shipping. So I made it worthwhile by getting three. And I'll put the name of the YouTuber that I saw this book on. I know it's floated around some others too, but where I first saw this book, I'll put it down on the screen. But this is Flannery's Urbanus, I don't know how you say it, but that's it. Florine La Rochon. And this book is one of those where it's perforated, first of all. You have your scene, and then you have your one to color. And I just love the color palettes on here. And I love buildings and landscapes. So this is right up my alley. And I tell you what's really good to use in this book is the Langlo gel pens, and we'll get to those in a minute. But look how fantastic that is. If for nothing else, it's great inspiration. But I'm going to enjoy coloring in here so much. It's nice every now and then to have, like, there is some shadow here. It's light shadowing here on the edge. But mostly it's flat coloring, so it's a nice break from heavy shadowing and highlighting that we normally do on our pages. Love this one. You guys, I am so excited for fall. I cannot wait. It's 60 degrees outside this morning. I've already been out on my swing enjoying the morning air. So excited for fall and all things that it brings. Look, I love that. Look how cute. That's so sweet. Oh. Yeah, I just love the colors. So bright and fun. Look at this one. See, I wouldn't pick olive green and this eggplant color. It just wouldn't be something that I would go to. So it's nice. Love this one too. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I love this book. I love, love, love. And I can't wait to get started in it. And that's Flanneris Urbains. Urban or I don't know. I didn't take French, you all. I took a little bit of Spanish, so I know I'm butchering it. And then the next one is Fleurs et Bouquet. And this is 40 Coloriage Mystère. So this one is a color by number. Let me just try to move this over a little bit. There we go. So you have your color by number, and here are your colors down here, which are similar to the palettes that are in the other one I just showed you. So I'm going to go to the back and show you what you have in here, because you certainly won't know if you want something like this if I don't show you. So here, look all these beautiful color palettes again. Have some words on some of them, but look, all of these florals, and these are perfect for the gel pens, the Language gel pens. So happy Valentine's Day, Women's Day. Women's Day happens to be my birthday. Be happy. Here's someone painting. Look at this, her hair is all flowers. So yeah, and there's not too many colors. And if you're worried about like being able to see the numbers, yes, they're small, but you have large areas. Like all of this is one, which is this dusty pink. So you don't have, you know, and I find with the Disney books, I do love to do them, but there are so many colors and there's so many numbers on the page. It's hard on older eyes, dry eyes at that. So yeah, that is the Fleurs et Bouquet. Maybe I'm getting closer to saying that right. Don't know. But this one, okay, Affiche, Retro, something like that. So these are like posters. And this is also 40 pages of Coloriage Mystère. And let me show you the back. So if you don't want to see, you could skip forward a little bit. But here, look how neat these are. Fabulous. Look how fun they are. And there are so many of these books, by the way. There's, I think I saw about 20 different kinds. So yeah, you have 40 of them. There's the Bahamas, Miami Art Deco. I used to live in Miami. So that'll be fun. And I remember a vacation when I was a kid in St. Louis. That was a fun place. I remember going on the boat there. I forget what it is called, but so, and I did actually do one in here. So I can show you. Here we go. Now I wound up using, I only had a small few sets of the Language gel pens. And so some of this is Artex acrylic marker. And I've mentioned before, it takes layers and layers and layers to cover some areas. So that would be this color and then the brown. The rest is Language, and you can see it covers really well. But look how cool that is. Isn't that pretty? And Nice. Yeah, so this actually had more colors than the other book, the floral book. But this was so much fun and relaxing. I can't recommend enough. They're so, it did take me maybe 3 to 4 hours off and on, but that's just because I was also watching some TV and doing some different things, getting up and down. But I'm super excited for these books, and I'm going to go ahead and finish many of the pages in each before I would buy another one. But this is a nice segue from some of the Disney. I will still do some of the Disney, but I also like these quite a bit. So that's what I got from Amazon France. And then on Amazon US, I saw these Koh-i-Noor fluorescent pencils. And let me get a piece of paper here. We can test them out. I have several fluorescent things I keep close by when I'm doing some pages. So I have fluorescent Tule art, and then I have the brush markers, the Karen brush markers, and then I have these chubby pencils, the Caran d'Ache fluorescents. These pencils I've been using too, but these are nice and thin, easy to hold. It's called a dry marker, and again, it's Koh-i-Noor. But look at that. That is definitely fluorescent. And we have a nice pink. And this is a red, which is nice. And we have our bluey turquoisey color. The blues never feel very fluorescent to me, but orange. And then a green. That green is nice and fluorescent. So I thought those would be a nice addition. They feel soft because I think this matte underneath is soft. But I would imagine really they're a harder pencil. But they're nice. And they're Koh-i-Noor. I like the white with the black banding and then the painted tips. That's really nice. They are numbered. Not that you would really need them numbered. But they are 1 through 6. So I'm very, very happy to have these in my collection now. And if I recall, they were fairly inexpensive, I'm pretty sure. Much less than, of course, the Caran d'Ache. But yeah, they come in a nice little pack. And then, okay, Temu. I have not bought from Temu in quite a while. But they have the language gel pens. And so I've mixed in, accidentally actually, I mixed in ones that I already had. But that's good because I will need extras for the books that I just showed you. So there's Mirandy and the blue. Let me just get them organized here. That's different from that. That's lipstick, reddish yellow, the color of skin. They, yeah, they're definitely different. These two are the same. This one is not. And here is another Mirandy, but it definitely looks different. Yep, the colors, well, yeah, the colors are different. And another Mirandy. So let's see here. These two are the same. Yes. And then we have one different one. I love these blues. I'm a blue girl. This is the blue style. So these are dupe. Yeah, I had a blue. Purples. These are the greens. And then as far as these other, these are different. Okay. And then this is a set that I already had. And then we have the reddish yellow, lipstick red, the purples, the sweet pinks, and the highlight. Okay. So we have all of those. And like I said, some of these were some I already had. And then some are, let me take out some of these. Okay, this is the same, just in different order because these are the ones I used. And then we have a Mirandy. This one, that's different. Is it this one? These are the same. And then I have the golden, silvery, and white. I didn't have those before. I didn't have the Maillard or the colorful black. So those are a new addition. And then the dopamine. Here's the sweet pink. So that's similar. And let's see, Mirandy. Okay, it looks like maybe I have 3 sets of those, so that's fine. Those are good colors to have. And then the dopamine is different than the highlights, but those are bright colors, so I'm going to keep them together. Okay. All right, so these are all the separate packets that I purchased. Now I wind up getting a deal because, you know, the spin the wheel and you get rewards, right? So I was able to get all of these at a really good price. But then I also got, let me just rearrange here. This came in this box here, which is the color painting gel pen set. And it comes very well packed, and it's 168 pieces, master edition. It's the 0.6 millimeter, and I wanted the 0.6 because for those books especially, and for fine details, I do like the 0.6. You wouldn't use it for large coverage. But this is the bag that you've probably seen making the rounds on YouTube. And like it says, it's 168 large capacity, rich ink, multicolors, bright colors, multiple usage. So you have your, it's basically like a laptop backpack. So you have all these colors in here. And what I thought this would be awesome for is for me to take to my bedside. And that way I have something contained, something I can put right at the my side table. And then you have this side here. You open up, you have your colors. And I don't need to like color code or do swatching or anything. I can just pick my colors. And I have like a swatch pad on my side table and just check the colors against the color by number. And also it's Velcro. So you can see what's on the front and the back very easily. So that's a fun feature. I don't know why you would necessarily use it too much, but it's nice that it's all contained. So that's 168 of the 0.6 millimeters. Okay, so that's that. And I wound up getting one for my granddaughter as well. And then there are these. So these were a part of, like, if you spin, you can pick these, blah, 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 on Temu. So I wound up getting the, first maybe I'll do this one. I'll do the 3D acrylic painting gel pens. And this is a nice little case. It's magnetic. And it says 3D acrylic painting gel pen. I don't think they're 3D though. I think they're just an acrylic. So let's get our page here and let's try. Let's try getting them out first of all, right? There we go. Okay. So this is the 1 millimeter nib. So I wanted to try out some 1 millimeter nibs. And, well, that's nice. But I don't think there's anything 3D about them because I don't see that kind of texture that we have with glaze. Beautiful colors. And I'll get down to the other layers too. They are kind of are hard to get out of here though. And they just go down so smoothly. Yeah, these are going to go great in coloring books. All right, let's pick a purple. There we go. And let's see how that purple is. Very nice. These go down real nice. So these are all your colors. Look how pretty they are. I'm so excited. And we have a black. Let's try the black and see how that works. Oh yeah, that's a nice black. Let me put this underneath. That'll be better. Real nice. Let me show you closer. So yeah, they're wet now, but they're drying off, and there's no 3D to them. I think that's just a false advertising. But I love the pens. I love the size. I think they're really nice. It's nice to have some of the bold 1mm pens, and I love this box. See, it's magnetic. Closes up really nice. And of course, while I was at it, then I got the super shining color painting gel pens, the Plus Bold 1.0, and these are the glitter version. And look at these beauties. Look at how nice these are. And these are nicely packaged. Let me put that. Where did it go? Where did I put my... All right, it was just here. Let me just use these maybe. Yeah, okay. Just want to give a firm surface underneath. All right, so let's try this and see how much. Now you all know I have a large metallic selection of watercolors, but sometimes you just want a pen. I also have my glitter gel pen case that you all have seen. Let me get a different color. Very nice. Let's try a green too. Oh, that's an interesting green. Like a chartreuse color. And we have these colors here. You've got 16. Let's try this teal. I'm curious. They are hard to get out of here. Oh, that's gorgeous. You know, it's not the most glittery pen that I have. I would say the Pentel Dual Metallics are most glittery for me, but these are really nice. I mean, these would be a close second. See if you can see the glitter. It's a really nice payoff. Really nice. Just to show you the difference, I believe this is my gold Pentel Dual Metallic. You can see how nice that is. Okay. These are really nice. I don't know if I will abandon the plastic here and then just have the pens in here like this, loose. That might just be an easier thing for my fingers. And then you have this slide cover. So that's 16 colors, and they have them here, and they do have a color code to them. So that's nice to have. And here is a 24 color one. So the last one was 16. And this is 24 colors. So let's try these out. It's a nice pink. Let's see what this blue one is like. Oh, that's a really pretty light blue. That's really nice. And let's see what's under here. Ooh, let's try out a red. Oh, that's sharp. Oh, I like that. Shall we try what's in the bottom tray? Let's do a green. So that's like a leaf green. color. That's real nice. Let's do the yellow. Oh yeah, that's nice too. So let me show you those. Now there's some dual metallic on these. Look, you have a dark green on the chartreuse color. That's neat. That actually is more like a Pentel dual metallic or metallic flip marker. So that's really cool. Oh, that's nice. And here are these 3D ones. They dry. Well, that one's kind of matte. But this one is got a sheen on it. If you can see. These are so nice. I love that red. It's really, really nice. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy these. So wherever you wind up getting them, Mercari or any of the other sites, if they're all pretty much kind of the same to me anyway. I've bought from Temu before and I get the rewards, and so they wind up being a very inexpensive option for gel pen, especially these, you know, glitter pens and these 3D acrylic. Yeah, they're very nice. I like the fact that these are 1mm nibs. That's really nice. And then having these 1mm nibs, let's just show you here. This is what I was using for that page that I showed you in my Amazon France purchase. So that's one from the bright set. Let me pull from the colorful black. Always nice to have some darker colors. This is a dark green. And let's get a dark blue. And then let's try out a yellow. Let's do one of these darker mustardy colors. Yeah, any kind of fine line work that you want to do, these are fantastic for. I'm going to show you how I used them before I got the set, with the sets that I had, which was about like 5 or 6 sets. So yeah, those are nice. The dark colors and the pink and the yellow. So yeah, really happy to have those and do some experiments and pages. Now let me show you what I have done. Let me go get, I'll just leave these out. Okay, in Drawn Vanger, I did a buddy color with Diane Dreams in Color and Bubble of Coloring. And I didn't do a finished pages video, so I'm showing this to you for the first time now. Oops. Let me just get, yeah, some lighting going on here. So we did this rooster and basket page. I wound up using some QOR watercolors and Rosa Gallery watercolors all over the page. So this page was all purples and blues to begin with. And then I used Tombow brush markers for kind of another base on top of that. And I used Polychromos, Derwent Lightfast pencils. I used Artex acrylic markers on the base of the grapes. Where else did I use the markers? I think that was mostly it for that, yeah. And then I used the Languo gel pens, if you see here. And on here, I'll probably have to pull it up for you. So if you could see here, all these lines, those are all Languo gel pens all the details here in the feathers, Languo gel pens. Here on the front, Languo gel pens, and here and on the top. So that came in very handy to have those. And I also used them on these flowers here, so that was nice. And I also used various metallic and glitter pens to get the silver here on their helmets, and I used a black glaze pen. I used which gel pen? I used the, trying to think of the color that I used here. Let me just see. So I've got my gel pen pack here. So I wound up using, let's see if I can see. I think it's towards the back, yeah. So I wound up using a combination of the Karen Deco brush and then this, it's the Sakura copper pen, calligraphy pen. Those are the two that I wound up using for the wheels. So the wheels here, if you can see, they have metallic all in the wheels. And also here as well, that's the Karen brush, copper. And let's see here, I also used a black gel pen here. This was a generic one that I got from Temu quite a couple years ago. I also used some Castle Art pencils in here as well, and some Crayola pencils. So in the end, I have my funky rooster and a basket of grapes and these guys here, these leaves, and I wound up using the these Artex acrylic markers for the clouds, because remember they were all in a blue hue or purple, and so I wound up using a few like pink, coral, and orange and yellow for clouds. Those clouds were not there, some of them I just created them, but yeah, I think it turned out nice. And I'm also going to show you Diane's and Katya's, so I'll place theirs here. It took a while to get these done, but they sure did turn out nice. Both of theirs are gorgeous. I love the color palette that they both used. And I know Diane and I, at least, we struggled a little bit because what we laid down first we weren't loving. But I think we had a nice end to it, and I really love coloring with these ladies. It's so much fun. And we do challenge each other by being in this book quite a bit. We've done quite a few pages in here. If you're new to the channel, we've done this double page spread and that double page spread, and we've done these two. Bubble of Coloring and I did these, and then I did this one double page spread separately. There's lots of glitter and things on that one. That was a much earlier one in my coloring. And I've got a one here, and then I've got to finish my castle. They're already finished with this, and so I need to go back and finish that. But yeah, love how it turned out in the end. Like I said, it went through some ugly stages, but I think I pulled it off in the end. So you all hadn't seen that, so I wanted to show you. And then in Flights of Fancy, you saw me, well, let me put this back because I'm able to see what I used if I want to duplicate any of that. Also protects the page. In Pop Manga Flights of Fancy, I worked on this to show you my Neocolor 2s, my Lyra Aquarels, and my Tim Holtz Ranger watercolor pencils and Stabilos. So I started out using those on the flowers and leaves, and then I wound up using Paul Rubens. Oops, my light just went out. That was weird. I've never had that happen before. So I used Paul Rubens watercolors on top of my Neocolors. I used the Transom Black marker. I can't say enough about this marker. It's on Amazon. It's an acrylic marker. It has a dotting end and it has a brush tip. So I used that for the black background. And then I used Artex and Ohuhu acrylic markers here on the leaves, Pentel Dual metallic flip markers, as well as Faber-Castell Gold Faber Aqua Dual markers. And Gansai Tambi Opal watercolor is on all of the bee wings. And Ohuhu glitter marker in silver to surround the wings. And I'll just bring it a little closer so that you can see. I also flicked the gold onto the rest of the page. Yeah, but it turned out really bright and fun for me. I enjoyed it. I decided to kind of give a different look than I normally would. I didn't do an enormous amount of shading on my leaves and things. I just wanted to kind of give a flat look and then have the watercolor on the flowers and then accentuate the bees. And I also used that Transom for their eyes, the black acrylic. Probably my favorite flower is this one. I used the dual metallic, if you could see it on the stem parts there. It's on each one of them, if you can see that. So yeah, I was able to finish this double page spread. So I figured I would go ahead and show you. And thank you to Kristine's coloring so that I could have an opportunity to work out of this book. She gifted me this book. And so I wanted to get a page done, and I loved doing that page. Okay, something else I've been up to is, you all know that I got the Swatch Decks cards, and I did my Neocolor 2s, that video, swatched all my Lyra and my watercolor pencils from the Tim Holtz set, starting here. And so what I wound up doing is I used my Ohuhu markers, which I was going to use my Neocolor. I was going to use like the mediums that are in here, but I decided I had my markers in front of me. I just make it very colorful. And then I used a label maker and put Neocolor 2s, Lyra Aquarelle crayons, Stabila Woodies, and Tim Holtz. That's the order that they're in. And then I put a glaze, before I put the stickers, I put a sealant glaze over the markers so that it will stay nice. And then I just keep the cover on just to keep them contained. And yeah, that way I just have it sitting up at my desk and it's there for when I need to use it for swatching. So that's something else I did. And then in Lulu's House of Wonder, I started doing a thing. Now I will say, my first page I ripped out. I do not suggest doing that, but I tell you, I did a yellow undertone throughout the page that was in here, and I just wound up not liking how things were turning out, and the paper was starting to pill because I was using so many mediums and it was getting a little on the dark side, and I just didn't feel like turning it around. I just kept it in the ugly stage and I was done. So then I decided, okay, for her hair, I decided I was going to use Tombow markers, and I used 992 and 969. This is the lighter, this is the darker, and I decided to color her hair in all of the pages that she's in that I got to. But look how cute. So you have like highlights in here with the lighter brown and then the darker brown so that I could keep it consistent. And I wound up coloring a little bit of the frog and the shelving. So any of them that she is in. Now I started this one. I don't like the color of this. It's a My Little Pony color, but I'm either going to lighten it or darken it because I don't like it. And what I wound up doing is taking a dark color first and then going in with a lighter color to kind of give a worn look to the sofa. And of course, I'm so not done, but I did get it started. And then here's her hair again. And again. That's so cute. And here in the picture, there we go. And I think I stopped about here. But it really has turned out nice to use those. So I think I might use Tombow markers. Can you see the light? The lightness isn't really coming through. Let me see if I can get my other light on it. So yeah, not sure if you could see the highlights real well with the lighting, but they're there, and I am enjoying doing that. This was the last one that I did. Maybe you could see it better on this one since it's bigger. Maybe a little bit. But yeah, so I had fun doing that. I was laying in bed and just decided to do that, and it was nice. I just needed 2 markers, and so that way I don't ever have to worry about her hair. It's the same in all of the pictures. And it wasn't in the first one, and that's another reason. I found that I liked the Tombow markers on this paper. And so I think going forward, it will at least be a base for me on some of the other foreground and background. So, very cute book. And I'm going to finish that project for sure. And then something else I was working on, I have this journal book, art journal book. And I had just done some like background scribbly things. But I decided to go in with my Gansai Tambi Nouveau set and just create this scene. Basically, I just, it was all intuitive. I didn't have anything in mind. But I wound up doing some like bush formations here. Then I created an island and then a background tree line. And I'm going to put some tree-related things over here and then thicken up my trees, but I needed to let it dry a little bit first. So yeah, that was lots of fun to do. And once in the Gansai Tambi, you start to get a little thick with it. It does start to shine up a little bit. So it's nice if you can like hold back from that to try to keep your matte look. But I like how it's turning out, and I will redefine some branches, make these a little fuller, and then I'm not sure what else I want to put on here, but I just had fun. It was just nice to do it. And I have these funky pages over here I did before that I've showed you all. So yeah, just fun to put color to paper. And this is my book from Nerd Forge, Make Stuff with Stories. And I love this book. What else do I want to show you? I'll show you what I have, the progress that I've made in Spirit Animals by Hanna Karlzon. So my double page spread here that I did with collage, I've also got 3 combinations for gold, for metals. Gold, a rose gold, and then a yellow gold. And here I did the silver here with the gold, and I've got some of like the rose gold around her eyes so far. And then I went over to the spider and started doing that. Now the areas where I didn't get collage in, I think what I'm going to do is create a web, and that will connect those empty areas together to the collage. So that's what my intent is. So I'll give you a closer look at how it is coming along. There's the rose gold, these 2 areas here and here. So I'm going to do some rose gold in the center or continue with the silver, not sure. This will be the yellow gold. But I combined some of the silver. There's like some blue hues in there too. And then here's the spider. And I started doing that part there. So it's coming along. I'm hoping to finish it up in August and have a finished page. I did all of these things kind of sticking out of her neck area in the bluey silver. So yeah, it's coming along. I think I'm going to enjoy it in the end. It's just taking a long time. But that's that page in Spirit Animals. I started one in 50 dragon themed miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. These were my kiddos. They're small. These two are mine. And then their cousins. It's so cute. So I'm doing this page here, and I did a sand look here. And then I think I want to use one of the metal combinations or even a new one for this helmet. And then decide on what I want to do in the background if I want to. I think I do. So we'll see about that. But that's so far been Cali Art and Ohuhu markers, alcohol markers. So I started that one. And then I want to finish up this one I've started in Southern Lotus Girl Spaces. I had started this a bit ago, and I want to go ahead and finish the rest of it and go a little heavier on the dotting for the bunny and the bunny ears, and yeah, just get it finished up. For God Jewel, I see that you all are getting your Merry Christmas book, so don't forget about my hashtag God Jewel all year. If you are doing anything in this book, you can use my hashtag. I'm still working on this page here. And I also have these two pages to do here. I've lightened them up with Distress ink and teardrop inks with a layer of watered down gesso. So I think I'm going to go ahead and follow the pastel theme as I've shown you all before. And then I have this one to do. So I've got several going there. And here, La Paix de Merveille. Have no idea if I did that right, by Peggy Nill. I wound up using my Gansai Tambi two colors, a purple and a blue, and I just saturated it with water and gave a light wash of those two colors. And I think it's a nice little start to the page. Let me get you a little closer to see some of the lighting. If it's too bright, you can't see, but there's purple and blue in here. Very light, but it's all over. You can see there. And I thought that would be a nice little background to start off. You all know I love balloon pages. And it's coming off a little lighter than it really is. Let's see how dark I can get. Maybe you can see it that way. Let me back off my light. There you can see, like, there's purple in here, and here, here, up in here. It's light, but it's there. And I think you can see it better that way. Now we'll pop up the lights. So yeah, I started that. And here's my little boy when he was small. And I have some, what do I want to say? Not metallic. I've got metallic on my mind. Magnetic. I've got some magnetic placeholders to be able to put in my books so I don't have to use pictures. And then World of Flowers. If you're on Instagram, you might have seen me start in here by Joanna Basford. There's a story behind this one for sure. So let's start with the story. All right. I started off here with Artex and other acrylic markers, and I basically did all the inside areas with pointillism. And then I used a super, was it the Super Golden marker? I believe it was the Super Golden marker copper. And then I used Prismacolor pencils for the flowers and the fish, and some Languo gel pen in white. And I went to go write down what I was using, and I put on here, had pen explode over image. So I had a click pen similar to this, and I went to go write on this page, and I clicked it, and it exploded. The ink just, like, I had a big huge drop here. I was able to cover that, but there are some black spots. You see, this was not intentional. This black spot, that there are some others in the leaves. And so I wound up, you know, trying to get the pen away, and it flicked in the background. There was no background. So just imagine this with the white paper. It's actually cream. there was nothing here. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna leave the black drops? It wasn't a horrible look, but it just was not what I had envisioned for this page. So I wound up getting a bunch of, well, first of all, the ink wasn't drying. I waited like 5 hours and it was still wet. In fact, there's a spot here, I'll show you. There's a spot right here where it's just, I mean, I'll be able to cover it with pencil or whatnot, but here's splatters here. And that was all over this page. So what I wound up doing, let me hold it like this. So what I wound up doing is I put together a bunch of acrylics that had glitter, like sequence type glitters in them. And I put them all together, and then I created this color here. And it's hard because it is super shiny. Super shiny. It looks much cooler in person. It's difficult with the lighting because it's kind of blurring out. There's the sparkles. I mean, it's sparkly everywhere. You can see up here at top. There's big chunks. There's big chunks of glitter all over the page. There you go. There's some over here. So yeah, she wound up having a blue background, which, I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's just, and it was such a mess. I was so happy with what I was doing here, and I was getting ready to like finish it. And I got very distracted by that because then I needed to put that extra acrylic because I made too much of it. So then I needed to dump some of that acrylic somewhere, and so I did here. This is a page from Legendary Landscapes. And so I put it here, and maybe you can actually see the glitter a little better on a bigger area. So I put that here to give it a dark sky, and then I'm going to use watercolor on here and make a really bright, probably neon graffiti, and see how this page turns out as a result. But this was the biggest like background that I could put all of that. I mean, there's like 6 different types of glitter, folk art, glitterific and things in it. So yeah, that's where I wound up putting the rest of that. And then I started a page in this Lulu Mayo book that I got from Amazon Japan a while ago. And I started this page here, and I just need to color their outfits, make this area in the back darker. So I have some shading to do there, and to shore up the buttons here as well. And then I should be able to be finished. I was thinking about putting a thin gold washi also down there just to give it some more interest. We'll see. And then at the bottom you all saw that I was making some, using my how to color book for the Cute and Cozy. And this is how that they want you to do tiles. And so I did do that. So I just need to finish that one up for August. And then I have 2 more. Whoops. Knocking you around here. Yesterday I started the Frogs and Flowers coloring book by Stormy Design. She actually commented on one of my videos along with, let me tell you. So the spooky coloring flip through that I did, Sara Szewczyk actually commented, and she said that she had not gotten an author copy, and said that she enjoyed watching the flip through because she had not seen it all pieced together. Normally she would get one and she didn't. And I asked her, I said, oh, since you're here, how do you pronounce your last name? And she said it's Szewczyk. That's how you pronounce it. I've been saying Szewczyk, which is, I mean, it's a good American try, right? But it's Szewczyk. So I figured I would share that with you all. And moving forward, I will not butcher her name anymore, thank goodness. But Stormy Design had also commented, and so that was nice. She was saying that her PDFs were being stolen and misused, so she was talking about her books. But anyway, I use the Gansai Tambi in 2 colors. There is a, let me show you. There is plastic on here, so let me get that off first. There is this color here and this color, so I use these 2. And this one's getting pretty low. Let me show you the colors. So that's grayish blue and pale aqua that I used to get that look there. And I think that's a nice moody, rainy sky. I'm probably going to go back and just color the raindrops in the same and then do a raindrop look as a result. I was leaving them white because I was going to do them in pencil. Maybe I'll still do that. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, I think it's turning out cute. The background. So yeah, looking forward to doing this frog guy. So that is another one that I'm in. And last but not least, I have my Kaleidoscope Coloring Plant Life book. And this is how far I got on this one. And I'll continue to work on that and finish this up for August as well. So I have like a stack over here of whips that I'm currently working on. I still have to finish my Dark Fairies page here with the red and black. So I've got that to finish as well. And then I have my, if I have time, other books that I want to color in. And then I'm also coloring in Disney portraits. You all know that we're doing the hashtag Witchcat Spooky 2. And I just want to clarify for this video, because I got a couple of questions. We're going to do this page for sure for August. Okay, so if you've gotten the book, it's okay if you're not getting the book till September or otherwise. It's just for those who are really excited and want to start coloring with this hashtag and together. This is the one. If you want to continue, you can color these, because these will be able to give you a little additional coloring. And maybe if you see them elsewhere in the book, you might want to, you know, use the same colors. And then in September, we will vote for pages moving forward, and that's hashtag Witchcat Spooky. I'm doing a page in Reptiloids here with dusty coloring. And here's a cute, since I have pictures out, here's a cute picture of my dad, who's since passed in December, with my daughter, my son behind, and cousins, which is really cute. And then Dream Coloring for Kids, Jackie on Instagram and I are going to do this whale page. So that will be fun. That's Dream Coloring for Kids. And then Dragon Spell, Debbie Mixed Media and I are going to do, let's see, did I mark it? It is the one where she is, it's from the back, and she's wearing this one here. Let me do another picture. Another cute picture. This is the one that we're doing as a buddy color. And in Woodland Kingdom, I've mentioned it before, but in case you would like to join, we have a few that have been joining recently. This is flipping crazy. Okay, maybe it's somewhere here. I can't believe I can't find it. I should just spray my pages also so that I don't have to keep wax paper in there, because that would help too. Here it is, here it is, here it is. This is the double page spread we're doing in Woodland Kingdom. If you would like to join, just go ahead and let me know on my Instagram at Kristina's Art Corner. And I think that's it. So I've given you just a little sneak peek into what I'm going to be focusing on for August and what I hope to get done. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy these Languo gel pens and these new books. I've already enjoyed this one here and these So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feels like it's really long. I haven't even looked at the time. So you all take care, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you have any suggestions on what you want to see, do let me know. You all take care. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.